So me and Melvor were just at the Retro Expo here in Plano. Melvor saw some celebrities that he wanted to get some autographs from. I got a few things. Now that we're done with the show and I don't have a life, I'm going to go to a place called Fan Fortress in Allen, Texas, which is not too far from here, and it's owned by our buddy Scott. Now Melvor's not going to make it. He's going to go home. He's a puss. And I'm going to go by myself.
You showed up?
I moved from Colorado Springs to the Dallas area, Allen, and opened this store. I live and breathe this, all the time. So it's fun to be surrounded by it,
NECA Gremlins. Always love these things.
Now I'm running across some Gremlins here. These are NECA Gremlins. This is a new 2-pack that recently came out based off Gremlins 2, and it's the construction group. They were on camera for like 7 seconds, if that.
The sculpts are super amazing. They look like little miniature prop replicas.
In this particular pack, we get a different version of one of the Gremlins, a different sculpt.
This is a Type 2 Gremlin. So most of all the NECA sculpts are this guy right here. Mm-hmm. And on Gremlins 2, there was 2 types of Gremlins. This is all we've gotten. This was supposed to be on Series 3. We're supposed to get this sculpt in Series 3, and this was like 3 years ago.
Getting these less and less now. I'm kind of running out of room.
This is one that I don't have, but I'm gonna pass on it today.
I want them, but at the same time, it's like, where do I put them? So I'm kind of running into that issue right now.
I guess there has to be a time where you're like, enough is enough. Now this is cool. Doesn't look anything like the actual bridge.
This is the second time I've come across this. This is the original series Star Trek bridge toy.
It's definitely got that charm to it. This is one thing that, oh look at, so here's the little transporter. That wasn't on the bridge, by the way. But you gotta like make the toys a little bit more interesting.
Well, to me, it feels more like the cartoon. More like the cartoon series.
Okay.
More colorful.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Last time I saw this, it was actually in California at Bobby's Warehouse. Didn't get it then. I like this. It's super cool. Anything Star Trek, with the original series, I really love.
I don't know. It appealed to me as a kid. In that way. I mean, it just felt like a comic book, kind of come to life or whatever.
I had no Star Trek toys at all growing up. I still do think it's really cool, and if I had the room, I'd go ahead and get it, but unfortunately I don't have the room, and so that's really becoming a problem.
It's totally off, and this is licensed. It's like, how's this licensed, and it's, for real legit, but they couldn't get the Enterprise right. Like, this is all wrong. Like, that green, and what is this, like a salad bowl, or? I mean, it's just kind of weird.
On the nacelle, this isn't like that. That's
yeah,
different.
Yeah, it's like all.
This is
off.
definitely not orange.
No.
Nerds! What's really cool about talking to Scott, he's in that generation that came before us. So he is just so knowledgeable on the toy lines that came before Transformers and G.I. Joe, the main 80s things.
So this is a Shogun Warriors Godzilla figure, which is pretty much one of like the most iconic toys. Like, real toy collectors, this is in most categories like a top 10 most wanted, must have kind of a toy.
So it's really cool to hear somebody talk about toy lines that were before our time.
Well, this one, I filmed a television series about collecting called Mark Hamill's Pop Culture Quest, and I took this out of my collection, brought it to the set so that Mark would have something to play with, because he loves toys, he's a collector and everything. And of course, he fired the fist and scratched it, and he was upset, because it scratched the paint, when he launched, the fist and everything. He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that." And I was like, "No, it's fine. Now it's like screen used, and the damage. I could say, yeah, Mark Hamill scratched my Godzilla or whatever." When I filmed this disaster back here, like in the back room, this is just like stuff that hasn't, it's stuff that needs to be sorted and priced. There's no telling like what the heck is in some of the. This one is just random. This is kind of my personal stuff, like the William Daniels signed the Knight Rider kit car here, Rough Rider.
What are you doing imagining 90-year-old men standing up with no pants on?
Another little, somebody brought this to me, a bootleg alien. Can't break it. It's not like a NECA figure.
The Bat Gremlin, fresh right off the press, took it home, opened it up, barely touched the thing, and the wing fell off. It was ridiculous. Amazing sculpt. I can't speak highly enough on the NECA sculpts. They look so amazing, but yeah, the build quality. I've had actually feet fall off of some of my Gremlins. It's ridiculous.
you got some janky issues going on. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm Batman.
This is like the first toy line that I cared about as a kid. You know what I mean? At like 1975, Christmas 1975, $6 Million Man. That toy line. Just a couple years before Star Wars, it was it. I mean, this was it. This was the best, toy line, and just meeting, having him at my show, signing these toys that are so important to me. I mean, that was just huge. He's kind of immortalized in the this action figure. I mean, this is him. It's his likeness. Mm-hmm. And this is forever. To be a best-selling toy, it just blows my mind.
Even though most of the stuff here is more modern stuff, I am seeing a few retro things, and a lot of them here are in this case.
I love this stuff, just the look of it. Like that vintage artwork.
Oh yeah.
I love the look of these 70s space toys. Anything 70s and 60s in space. I don't know why I like it. It was such a cool time.
This guy is in a completely different scale. I don't know if you can tell from the box, but he's a giant compared to them. And this guy right here is kind of famous for the fact that Mattel reused this guy for the Battlestar Galactica toy line. The Battlestar Galactica good guy hero character is this figure, just painted different. Instead of blue, he's got like black.
I figured he'd be in his boxers.
There's something about all this stuff that I just really always have liked. Especially the Lego, space Legos, man. Those in the 80s, and even I had some that were made in the 70s, with the space race and putting monkeys into orbit and all that stuff. And so it reflected on like the movies and the shows of the time, and toys as well.
They harken back to, a well bygone era. But I think it's one of those few things that actually kind of, from a visual standpoint anyways, kind of helps define a specific era in time.
McDonald's Star Trek. I have one of those.
I think I've spotted something that it's not exactly a toy, but I love collecting this stuff, and that's McDonald's Happy Meal boxes. I like that stuff. Happy Meal boxes they made you happy as a kid.
The Star Trek Happy Meals are like pretty legendary. I think it might be McDonald's first Happy Meal.
The movies are some of my favorite movies of all time, and it's a Happy Meal box. Why would I not want this?
Drink, a McDonald and cookie sampler, and a Star Trek prize. Oh, yes, 5 different boxes based on Star Trek the Motion Picture. Action scenes, jokes, games. He says, take it from a father who knows. His kids love him. McDonald's Star Trek meal available for your kids now.
I have all the boxes, but don't have any of the toys. Yeah. They're kind of hard to find.
Yeah, I got one off of eBay. I think I paid like $10 with shipping and everything.
Yeah.
It had never been actually folded.
And they seem to be in pretty decent shape, and they're only $5. So I'm gonna get them. I already have one in the set, so these are two other ones that I don't have.
I have a kind of a little place in my heart for these vintage like McDonald's Happy Meal things, because that was always a special occasion.
Man, getting that toy, it was just a wonderful, magical time.
This is the first time that Ronald made an appearance in the Star Trek universe. So notice that he's inserted in Star Trek now, which is cool.
They're kind of janky. Do a little shaky shake.
So in conclusion, this store was a really cool store, and I'm glad I was in the area and was able to come and check it out. Scott's a great guy. He has always treated everybody I know in a really positive, professional, great, friendly manner, and I know he's gonna run a really awesome store.
So one thing you're going to find in our store is that we don't have scalper prices on our toys because we get them direct from the manufacturer. So we have wholesale accounts. So we're not going to Target and paying $25 and then marking it up to $35. We're literally, the price that's on these toys is the same price that's going to be at a Target store.
Because I honestly did ask him if he wanted to come, and he was like, "Oh, I can't come. Reasons, and I gotta do laundry. My vagina hurts." And I don't care what anybody says, Star Trek, the motion picture, is not boring. It is a cinematic, now I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it's good, really good. It's close to being you just have to kind of sit back, and it's like a Pink Floyd album, right? You can't just sit there and you're not gonna get your socks rocked off or anything like that. Then you put on Dark Side of the Moon, you're gonna sit there and chill out and just kind of, oh, that's cool. This is the same thing. I sound like a stoner just then. God, it's such a 70s movie. McCoy comes on. It comes in this like cut, like his shirt's cut here and all this puffy chest hair. Like that is literally, you can't get any more 70s than puffy chest hair.